At the recording. Why? What about the rest of the people? Who is the scholar 01? Who is the scholar 01? Who is the scholar 01? He's asking you. Who is the scholar 01? Let me end him. I don't encourage this. Okay. Guys, if you join with any different names, I'll dismiss immediately because I don't, I mean, sometimes the people, they're getting these links from different persons and they're logging in. Okay. So I don't encourage this. So I'm still waiting for few people. Not few, more, almost like 30% people are not there. Okay, fine. Anyways, let them join. It's already 8:30. I mean, for the first 15 minutes, that would be fine. I mean, if there is any delay in joining, anyways, it's a Q&A part. You can go through with it after some time. Okay. Because you have a recorded videos as well. Okay. So this is a document. This is a document actually. So where you can drop all your doubts with your name. So with your, what is a question number? Okay. And the screenshot of it. What is a problem? What's a problem with, just give me a second. Okay, I'm so sorry. So if you have any questions, use the same format like question number 1 and what's your name? I mean, if you feel shy, you don't need to add your name. Okay. So answer will be written over here. And the next page, question 2. Next page, question 3. So if you have any questions, there are some sort of questions here like you can, question and answers here. You can go through with this. Okay, so you can clear all your doubts here. I mean, these are very beginner level questions. So beginner level doubts, you can go through with those and try to understand. Okay. So if you have any questions, then look in, I mean, you just add in the next line and clear this. And please don't share this link to anyone because it doesn't have any, what do you say that? Permissions, nothing. Okay, because I mean, some you people are using 2 or 3 different Gmails or Yahoo mails, or in that case, I mean, these people are complaining all the time. So I'm not able to access. Could you please provide the access to this email ID, to that email ID? So that's why I made it public and requesting everyone to don't share this to anyone. Okay, please. Well, so this is the one. And second document, there is a one more. Sweet.co idea. So here list your ideas. For example, if you had a chance to create your own scripts, so what would be your first script? What would be your second script? So why you're learning this Dynamo? Okay, what is your daily routine? So what do you want to automate in your daily routine? So add some questions here. Add that ideas here. So I will mark here whether it is possible or not. Whether it is really possible or not. If it is possible, then what is the source exactly? Do you, I mean, you should be like a combo user, or you should be a level 1 user, or you should be like a level 1 and a geometry user. I'll explain everything very clearly here. Okay. So in few of this, we are
Rajesh,
going to,
where are you keeping?
sorry, Vijay.
Where are you keeping these documents?
I've sent you the link, Vijay. Could you please check? There are, in the last message, there are point 3 and point 4. Okay, in your
Okay,
WhatsApp.
okay,
Clear? Okay,
yeah.
and fine. And one more. And few of them are even explained during the training also. few of them will be explained in the during the training also. Okay, fine. Let's say, and one more. This is supposed to explain yesterday, but you know, because we have some people who joined for the demo webinar. Okay, and there is a folder. There's a folder, the name of Dyn March 23rd. Okay, March 23 batch. Okay, so I'm going to provide the access to this folder. Okay, so you can get these files, and I mean, you know, like just copy this complete dump into your machine directly. Okay, clear. If you lost something, still the link would be there for a lifetime. In case if it is lost, I can't help you. Okay, because it's already full. I don't know what happens. Last time it was, I lost the complete data due to, I mean, due to some failure. Okay, so better you take a backup and keep it with yourself. Okay, fine. So these are the three. And do you have any other question before we getting into the main topic? Do you have any questions? Anyone? Do you have any questions?
No. No.
Sure. And Abhishek Priyan, for you, if you can't access it, I'll send you the direct Google link then. Okay? Don't worry. I'll
Yes,
send you the
please. Yes.
Google Docs link. Better you can use it. Okay? Fine. Why I have sent you this is like, I can track the links. You know, this is for like our internal sake. This have an additional feature saying like tracking. Every link will be tracked. I mean, let me show you even the videos like you're getting from us. So those are like tracked. See, the same website. I mean, this link, okay, which is accessed. I mean, which is open total 49 times. And what is this? And show stats and how many users opened and the referrals and how many devices and from how many countries. So everything we can see the analysis in. From the same user, how many times the video has opened, everything. And from the same user, if he is logging from different missions, everything will be like tracked. Okay. So I mean, in case if you're sharing this detail, I mean, there's access to anyone else, you may lose the data. I mean, you may lose the access. Okay, it has an automatic feature. Okay, fine. So let me get into this main topic and let's go for a quick review. In terms of coding, in terms of programming, what do we call this? What do we call that?
Variables.
Variable.
Variable.
What about this?
Values.
Values.
Values, huh? Very good. So variables and values. Okay. So what are the data types of all these variables? What are the
Strings.
very good? They are strings because it is a text completely. So the variable names always a string, always a string, but the values keep on changing. The values keep on changing, but the variable names are always in a string format. Clear, guys? Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the left hand side
Yes.
always like a strings. You cannot create even a parameter with a number even. It will not allow. Okay, because you can't create it. Okay. So this would be always a string. And next to this, these having this could be something, this could be something, a different data type. This could be a different data type. This could be different data type. This could be different data type. So how many data types we have? How many data types we have?
Two, right?
Integer, double,
Integer, double, string, and boolean.
string,
Boolean.
boolean. Okay, I didn't explain boolean, no? I didn't explain string also. Okay, fine. We have
Okay.
discussed only two yesterday.
no,
One is an integer and second one is a double. Integer in the sense 19.23.456 is an integer, and double in the sense 19234567 and
No, 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 no.
opposite.
reverse.
Vice
I'm
versa.
so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Correct. So you are in alert, I think so. Okay. Now you started correcting the tutor. Huh? Good. Okay. Integer and this is a double. Correct. Okay. Now, what if it is 19.23a?
This is string,
Double.
Double or a string?
String. String.
String. Okay.
string.
Okay. String. Okay. Fine. Good. So you are saying 19.23 A is a string. Okay. Fine then. Let's see. How to select? I want to play with a element. Which element do you want me to take? Any? Mechanical.
Structural.
That's a okay. So let's go with a duct. Guys, you are from different disciplines. If I'm taking only single discipline, then no problem. You have rights to shout on me. So okay, duct. So which parameter you want me to take? How to select this duct now? Can I drag this
Element
duct
ID.
into Dynamo?
Element ID.
Select model element. Select model element.
Select model element. Okay, very good. Select model element. Select model element. Very good. Select model element. Select and click on this. Very good. I have that here. Select model element. That's fine. What to do with this element now? What I can do with this element now?
Get parameter
set
by
parameter.
name.
Oh,
Element dot get parameter by
parameter.
name.
Get parameter value by name. Get parameter. We have a get parameter name. We have a get parameter value by name. We have a get parameter as value string. Get parameter as project units. We have a different. So until unless you get some good hands-on, at least by heart it. Okay. So when I connect this to this, so I mean the connection which is still looking for a parent. So assign the parent. Okay. Now the parameter name, if it is the parameter name, no second thought, directly
String.
Okay, string. So when I connect this to this, let's play with something like top elevation. Let's get the top elevation. Guys, this today's session is going to be completely confused. So think twice before you answer. Okay, top elevation. So when I connect this to this, 2949.999 and something. Okay, here it is like a 2950, so it's not completely accurate. This is the actual value. Okay, fine. 2950. Let me get the value of height. Height 300. Okay. Can I get the length information?
No.
Now, logic. Can I get the length info? I told you, think twice before you answer.
Yes, sir. Of course we can.
Hey, that is in grayed out. Can we get this? The rest of the variables are in dark black.
It's predefined.
Whatever. This is a user and this is a user control. You can control this, but you can't control this. Well, whatever it is, can I get the length information of the duct or not? Tell me.
No.
Yes.
My answer is no. My
Yes.
answer is no.
So we can get this, no? For sure.
Okay, fine. Let me try. So alien GTH. No, I didn't get that.
Sir, L capital.
Sorry, come again. L
Sir,
capital. Huh?
L. Sir, it's case sensitive.
Very good.
Yes.
So the parameter names always should be case sensitive. It should be case sensitive. Okay. So L. Okay. So when I add this, I can get that information. One person supposed to be add Subhajit, please accept that. Oh, is it? Okay. Just give me a second. Subhajit, did you join? No. Why they are saying accept? Hmm? One person from Bahrain. Bahrain country code is 973, I think so. I'm so sorry. Okay, fine. I'll see that later. Okay, so length information. This is a case sensitive. The parameter names should be case sensitive. If you type even additional space here, it will not accept. It will not accept. It should be very, very clear. Okay, because the data which is reading in a bytes, bytes. Okay, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits. So say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Total 6 characters we have here. Each and every character will be stored in a place. So the parameters information which would be very, very clear. And the L has a different ID and this L has a different ID and they're pre-configured. So if you type L here instead of capital L, it won't accept it. Okay. So make sure it should be very, very clear. Okay. So the length and what else? How to check? I want to know what is the data type of this. How? I want to know what is the data
Double.
type of this. It's a double, no? I think
Object.type.
object.type. Do you think is it really required to understand? You can easily say that, right? You can easily say that it is a double or an integer. Correct. Okay, fine. Let me try with system type. System type. So what is this data type here? What is the data type there? String. Correct?
Yes.
Correct, guys?
Yes.
String. It is a exact air. It is a string. Am I right? Very good. So what about mark? Keep this aside.
Int.
System type. What is a mark?
Integer.
Hey.
String.
Yesterday we played with the mark parameter also. Guys, like how you're playing is it's different than how you remember that. Okay, if you got the logic, you no need to even by heart those. Okay, so try to understand the logic. Don't try to by heart it until unless I'll tell you this. Please by heart this. Please by heart this. Okay, so until unless it comes with an experience. Till then you have to by heart few things, but rest of like 5% maximum you have to by heart this. since you are very new to the coding. But there are few stuff can be easily understand. So don't buy a hard dose. Try to understand the logic. Okay, fine. So mark parameter. I mean, whenever I'm asking you mark in mark parameter, I can store the text. I can store, I can store those integers also. I can store special characters. So you can say you can like you can say that that is a string. Okay. So you have to answer yourself. What about what happened here? Why am I not getting this? Yeah. So what about face created? Face created.
String.
Face created. You said this is also string. Okay. So what about additional flow? Additional flow. Additional flow.
String.
Because additional flow has numbers in it. And
Number.
how come it is an integer, Deenadalian? Huh? We have a double there and we have L by S. It is a text actually. We have a special character also over there. So can we consider as a string? Huh?
Yes.
Can I consider
Yes.
that as a string? No?
Yes.
Geisel, yes. Okay. So let me take everything from your mind, like all the doubts and everything. So without playing with those particular parameters, it's not that easy to remember. Okay. So there is a simplest method to understand what parameter contains what kind of for data type in it. Okay. So I have an element. So I have an element. I have an element here. I'm asking, I have an element. Can you please print the parameters of it? Parameters of it. So element dot parameters. So when I add this, so how should I connect?
Element
should
to
I connect?
element.
Element to
Element to element.
element. Correct. Okay. Because this is expecting an element and I am getting an element. So I must connect this. Otherwise, what will happen? For example, select, no, exactly. I'll explain you one more. Categories. Categories. All elements of category. Mostly we'll be playing with this to bring all the elements into the model. We call it as a frequently used nodes. Okay, and types, which is element types. Element types, all elements of particular type. All elements of particular type. So I'm going to connect a type here. Let's say type can be ducked. So when I connect this to this, oh, it's printing. There are 724 ducks in my model. Okay, that's clear. So when I get the ducks again here, and I connect this to this, even this is also printing the same 724 elements. Clear? Clear? Is it
Yeah,
clear?
but what is the difference?
Let me show you. Here it is printing like 724 elements. Here these two set of nodes are giving the same output. Now, why don't I change this to here, this to this? Will it work? Think twice before you answer. Seriously, think twice.
No, it will not work.
No,
Why?
it will not work.
Why? It will work. It will work. It will
Category will be
definitely
one.
work because this is also printing 724 elements. This is also printing 724 elements. So what is the problem in it? it will definitely accept. Agree?
The input is different.
The input is
No,
different.
Okay. Fine. Simple logic is, if you cut this, I mean, every node has to be cut into the two parts, two parts, two parts, two parts. So the left hand side we called as an input, the right hand side we called as an output by default. Okay. So this is an input and this is an output. Whatever the coding is written like that. It's always like input and output. So input and output, input of this and output of this. The simple logic is the output, what it is throwing out. It's throwing something out. Okay. So we generally call it as return. It's returning something, or it is printing something, or it is throwing out something. We'll call it as, okay. And the input will expecting, which is like expecting something, okay, which is it's called an inputs. Okay. So this output and the input should match. It should match 100%. If not, it will be warning. Okay. So when I connect this to this, what happened? This is throwing you the type information, and here it is a category. This is a category. This is throwing a category, and this is expecting an element type. No, I'm an idiot. Let me try I would like to try what happens if I connect. So when I connect this to this, it's giving me the warning. So try to understand. This is, I think, if our first warning, and this warning you'll keep on getting. No voice up. Vijay, don't say all this in the mid. Guys, everyone, you clear with my voice?
Yes.
So in between, there are some disturbance.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Fine. So once you
You can
answered, then then mute it back immediately. Otherwise, there would be some sort of noise. Okay. Well, so when I connect this to this, when I hover the cursor on this, it is saying that it is a warning. It's not an error. Don't call it as an error. Errors are something different. Errors, to resolve, to get a solution to the error node, it's a lengthy method. It's a really lengthy method. But warnings can be easily rectified. So there is a difference between the warning and the error. Don't ever call it as an error. In coding, you generally don't see any errors at all. For example, you have 1,000 lines of a code. From the first line to the 999 line, it's a completely wrong. Then we call it as an error. We don't call it as a warnings. In 1 to 1,000 lines, there is a one single variable, or there is a class which is mismatch. Then we call it as a warning. We don't call that as a error. Okay. I hope you feel the difference. The error returns in a red color. The warnings returns in a orange color. Always. If you see any warning sign, it would be in orange color. If you see any, stop signs or any error signs, they would be in a red color. Okay. I hope you feel the difference. Okay. So warnings are completely different than an error. So what is a warning here? Element queries dot off category. Okay. Whatever it is, it's a node name. That is expecting. Expecting. Argument is nothing but it is a programming terminology. We'll call it as an input. Argument is nothing but an input. Okay. So and so node XYZ, some X node, which is expecting a input type. Okay. So focus on the brackets. You first, you don't need to read the entire stuff even. Okay. For the first time, I'm explaining you, but next time I don't even explain all this stuff. Okay. So you directly focus on the, brackets. Okay. So what is this? Revit.elements.category, and there is a comma, and Revit.elements.views.view. So what it is clearly saying that this is expecting a category, but you have connected with a type information. That is expecting a category, but I have connected a type here. This is expecting a category, I connected the type. So it's wrong. What if I try and connect this to this? Again, warning of element type which is expecting inputs system.type information. It is expecting a type. It is expecting a type. But you idiot, you connected with a category. I'm expecting type. Why did you connect with category? That is what it is saying. So you should love the warnings. Again and again, I'm telling you, you should love the warnings because they're 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 driving your data in a right way. They're taking you in a right way. Exactly. So they are helping you to if you don't focus on the warnings, then if you don't understand the warnings, you will never become a developer. Okay, and we don't have thousands of different kind of warnings. We have maximum of 5 to 10 man. Seriously, okay. So the rest of, if you have a 50 to 60, mostly you will be able to see 5 to 10 frequently. So if you know how to fix it, then you will be keep on playing with whatever you want. Okay, clear. So when I connect this to this, okay, because this is type, this is a type. Now it's working. Category, category. This is working. Okay, and there is a one more, easiest method also. I will explain you that in that dot notation concept. In a dot notation concept, okay, for suppose it is not, it's throwing the category, but it is not written over there. It is like a category. It is expecting category, but it is not written over there clearly. It's expecting a category. In that case, very headache. So there is a trick for it to understand. If you know, the first problem with the beginners is they don't know how to find a node. The second problem is they find a node. For example, Ahmad have a problem and Vijay has solved it. So Vijay found a solution and Vijay told him that Ahmad use this node. He didn't explain in detail like what to do exactly. So use this node, it may help you out. So Ahmad installed some sort of a packages and he used that particular node, but he don't know how to connect exactly, what to connect exactly, how to connect exactly in the right way. So why he should connect in the same way? So he doesn't know anything. He knows there is a node. He knows there is a script. He knows there is a node, but he don't know how to use it. What is the use of it? What is the use of it? Having that node or whatever. Okay. So you should know how to use it. Fine. So these two are like a successful ones. Now I'm asking, now let's come to the topic. There is a reason behind explaining this concept. Element dot parameters. I have an element with me and I want to get the parameters. So I got the parameters information in the Dynamo itself. So all this, all this, like I'm trying to split with the colon. Now try to understand. This is a colon. Okay. So this is a colon. So before the columns are variable names, next to the columns are values. Correct? These are names and these are values. Right? Am I right? No? Good. So I have a parameter here. I want to extract the names. How? I have a parameter with me. I want to get the name out of it. I have two different types of data here. Try to understand. In the one single data, I have two different kind of a step here. So the first one is this and the second one is this. So I have a parameter and I want to get the name out of it. List number 11, it is not a value. It's not a value. It is value, no? Okay, fine. We'll see. I'll explain you what is that moment. Okay. So tell me, let me ask. I have a parameter. When I put a dot next to it, which is showing me parameter dot name. So when I hover the cursor on this, the name of the parameter. So when I connect this to this, okay. I'm sorry. So it has splitted the parameter names out of this, the no values. Correct. Now tell me, I have a parameter and I want to get the values. Then
Parameter dot value.
parameter dot value. Parameter dot value. Okay. Don't use this. Use this because why I should write again and again. Parameter dot value. Okay. So from where should I connect this? This to this?
No. Parameter
Huh.
to.
No. Parameter to parameter.
From this?
No.
No.
Then okay.
Parameter to
What
parameter.
if I connect this to this? What if I connect this to that? Tell me.
Warning.
Only string values will come.
Only the string values will come.
No.
Warning. So it's
So
warning.
warning will appear.
What is that warning?
It will not work.
It will not work. Okay. That is not a
Yeah.
warning, it is a conclusion, guys. So the warning would be, are you idiot? I am expecting a parameter. How dare you to connect me a string?
Hmm.
Correct? Correct?
Yes.
So what if
Yes.
I connect this to this? Again, it's just scolding me. So I'm expecting a parameter. Why did you connect me an element? You gone mad. Scolding me. Okay, so there, no, I have to be very careful. Okay, it is expecting a parameter. So where is a parameter which is throwing out? I'll check all the nodes on the output side, on the right hand side, where which is throwing as a parameter. So it's throwing the parameter. So when I connect this, I got the values. I got the values here. Okay, fine. So I want to know there is a parameter, but I want to know what is the storage type of that. What is the data type of that? Then parameter dot, very important, storage type. Clear? So from here, I should connect this to this. And now it's clearly saying that which is a double, which is a string, which is an integer, which is a element ID, whatever it is. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Is that clear? Okay, fine. So almost we are into the track. We are on the track now. Okay. Let me take this two set of someone feeling drowsy. I think. Let me phrase this. Okay. So let's say where is the get parameter value? No. I'll play with set parameter by name now. Set parameter by name now. Let me take all this here. Okay. Control C, Control V. Same element. The parameter name is system type. So when I connect the system type to this, system type, it is exhausted. I want to set something like return error or something, not with this element. Let me check with some other system. I mean, some other element, which okay. I want to change this supplier to the exhausted. Okay, why not? I would like to change the system type. Okay, to supplier. Can I change?
No, sir.
Why?
Because it's accepting an element ID and that is not.
Okay, fine. So what about others? What about others? this system type is, as of now, it is an exhaust, but I want to set it to the supplier. Will it be changed or not?
No.
Why? Why?
We have to get parameter first, sir, then we can set it, I think.
Why? You don't need, see, get parameter value by name is to make you understand what is the data type of it and what is the value in it. Simple. Okay. So here in this case, you don't need to use get parameter. Okay. So now tell me, can I set the supply to this or not? Tell me
No.
quickly. No? Okay, fine. Let me connect and see. Supplier, now it's saying that the parameter storage type is not a string. Okay, that's a different warning. The parameter storage type is not a string. So it is saying that it is, I mean, it looks like a string, Mr. Miraj, but it is not the string. Okay, fine then. But you said it is a string. Now it is saying it is not a string. Okay, fine. Let me try with some other mark. The mark, when I connect this, you said integer. I have already shown you this. So when I connect this to this, where is the mark parameter? I think for this element, the mark parameter set to the supplier. Set to the supply layer. Okay. So it's set to the supplier. It is showing it's like exhaust here, but as we set something here, no. So that's why it's set to the supplier. No, I want to set exhaust. Exhaust. Okay, very good. It's working now. Very clear. So I don't have an issue with mark parameter. Let me try with phase created. Phase created, I have how many options? 2 options. As of now, it is a new construction, but I want to set it to the existing. I want to set it to the existing. So what is the storage type of this? What is the storage type of this? Everyone?
String.
String, no? Very good.
Yes.
So existing. So when I connect this to this, oh, is it? The parameter storage type is not a string. Okay. I think that's really, it's making it crazy. It is also not even working.
Because the phase created, it is element ID maybe. That's why it is showing error.
I'll come to that, Nimish. I'll come to that. Okay. So additional flow. What is additional flow? Yeah, this one. What is the storage type of that?
String.
We said it is a string. Correct. So as of now, it is 0.00 ls. I want to set 10.0 L/S. Correct, no? Everything is clear, no? So when I connect this to this, the parameter storage type is not a string again. Oh, then in this case, you no need to get panic. It looks like an integer, but when you're trying to connect an integer, it's saying that it is not an integer. It's saying April Fool. It's saying April Fool. Confusing? Yeah, just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to explain everything clearly, Amit. Okay. So don't completely rely on the face of the value, the face of the values. Okay. It's not at all correct. So as a developer, you need a proof. So what's a proof exactly? How do you say that is a debt? I mean, how do you say current time working as instruction? Yeah. Okay, fine. So if it is showing it's like something like a text, it's not a text. Okay. So let me show you how. So let me ask. So additional flow. Let me try additional flow, 0 index parameter. So the parameter index value is 0. So let me check it is a 0 and it is a double. It is a double. It is not a string. So additional flow, it is not a string. This L by S is a units. L by S is a unit, liter per second. So this PA slash M, it's a unit. So M slash S, it is a unit. So PA, again, it is a units. So whatever it is, for example, when I select any other slope, the percentage, that is not considered as a special character. That is a number. Okay. So when I select any other elements, let's say walls, let me turn on the walls. So we do square meter, cubic meter. These we generally don't consider as a strings at all. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So that is a number. I mean, that is a double. So what should I do now to play with the additional flow parameter? It is clearly saying that it is a double. So no second thoughts. Simple, place a number and let me set value 10 to it and connect this to this. Simple. So when I go and check the particular element, the data additional first 10 liters per second. If I change this to the 15, it will set the value to the 15 and the calculations keep on changing accordingly. Did you see that? Did you see that?
Yes.
So this is the storage type of it. So you have to rely on this, not the value, I mean, how it looks like. Okay, fine. Let me try with one more. Let's say mark again. Let's say mark again. I want to check with the mark. So I'll just scroll down. This is in an order, alphabetical order, A, B, C, D to Z. Okay. So M would be somewhere in the mid, mark 1, 2, 3, 2. So 26th index value. So what is the 26th index value? It is a string. So mark value, it contains integer in it, but it is a string actually. Fine. What else? System type or phase created. What is a system type? MNOPQRS T. System type. System type. 44. Correct. So let's say 44 is a system type. What's a 44th value? Oh, that is 44. It's here. It's supposed to show exhaust but here it is not showing as an exhaust It is showing something else. Okay. So what is the 44? It is an element ID. So this element ID, we are going to, why tomorrow? I think I can explain today itself. So element ID is a second concept. I mean, the last concept. Till then, you just wait for some time. Okay. So this is not a string. It looks like a string, but that is not a string. What is that? It's an element ID. Correct. So what about phase created? What about phase created? Let me apply the same methodology again. Phase created, 29th index value. 29th index value. Okay. So it is 29 phase created. Oh, it is not showing, it's exactly like a new construction. It's showing something which is like a phase, and 29, that is an element ID again. That's an element ID again. That is a reason, well, if you're a beginner, you'll get confused for sure. But when you're knowing in detailed concepts, so you have to be very careful on understanding the data types. Otherwise, you can't drive a data from one box to another box. We'll start in the day one itself. Okay. So the data types are very, 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 very important concept, guys. Okay. And so 29, that's fine. So now I want to change this horizontal justification. Tell me what is the data type of it? Horizontal justification. Just give a guess.
String.
Element ID.
Element ID. Anyone else?
String.
ID.
ID. ID. Okay. So let me check. Horizontal justification. 17th element ID. Here it is showing like center. The value which is showing in the Dynamo, it is 0. How come it is? Okay, that's a logic. I'll explain it later. So if I go and check 17th index value, that is an integer. So it looks like a text. Guys, I'm not confusing you. I hope so. I'm just trying to explain the data is always try to fool you. It looks like a string. So far, when you've seen for the first time the text, it looks like a text and you said it's a string. Okay. But next time I've shown you the second example, it looks like a string, but it is an element ID. Then you changed your mind and whatever you've seen, and now you got confused and said it's a few people said string and few people said it is an element ID. Correct. But now it is not even a string. It is not even element ID. It is a number. How come it is? How come it is? I'm asking you, Deenadalian. You're asking me, I'm asking you again. How come it is? I'll explain you. Don't worry. Okay. Let me show you.
Maybe 0, 1.
Very good. Very good. Very good, Nimish. Okay. So I'll explain you everything in one by one. Let me show you what are the things what are the parameters which are trying to confuse you. Okay. Fine. Let's see some other. Let's see some. What about this reference level? Tell me what about the reference level?
These are element IDs.
Is it?
I think
thought
I
it is
think integer.
integer. Huh? See, now you changed it. It looks like a string, but now you're saying it is an integer. If you go and talk to any interview, I have this value. Can you please explain what is the storage type of it? If you said, even though it looks like a text, if you said it is an integer array, the interviewer will easily catch out. So it looks like a string, but he said it is an integer. So he knows it's an integer control system. Okay, let's say level. Okay, so reference level, no? So reference level 32. Okay, now you're saying integer, correct? 32. Oh, is it 32? It is an element ID, dear. You
Okay.
fail again. See that? Did you see that? Okay. Okay, nothing wrong. You're still learning. Okay. But when it
Yes.
comes, I mean, you have this beautiful node which reveals the secret behind the parameter data types. Clear? So you don't need to use this. I mean, you don't need to place parameter.name, parameter.value, parameter.storage type, nothing. There is an easiest method I'll explain in the design scripting. In Python also we have. I'll explain you later. Okay. So how come it is a 0, 1, 2, 3? How come it is an integer which shows like a string? The string which shows like a integer. I'll explain you. I'll start revealing the concepts after 10-15 minutes. Okay. Don't worry. Meanwhile, let me explain. Let me show you some other. Let me check with pipes. Do you have any? Let me turn on the ducts. What is the storage type of this pipe segment?
String.
Element ID.
Let me select this and pipe segment. Correct. So PQ PPP pipe segment 31 element ID. Okay. So what about I don't have anything here to show you. Let me turn on everything. What is this? So we don't have that many examples to teach you all this. Weaving, turn off, turn on ceilings. Okay. So what is the data type of this? Level 1, I already asked you this before. Okay. How to turn off this room bounding? What is the storage type of this?
Boolean.
Everyone.
Boolean.
Everyone. I'm asking everyone. I'm asking everyone. Are you
Double.
sure is it a Boolean?
Double.
Double. Is it a Boolean? Let me see. So room bounding, it's a ceiling, no? Let me select the ceiling. Let me select the ceiling. And room bounding 16, 16, just saying 1 integer. But it's supposed to be Boolean, right? If I want to play with this, it must be on and off. Correct. So there are 2 more data types like we supposed to learn. Those are called strings and booleans. Strings contains, the text information and or the special characters information or your name or whatever it is. I hope you are aware of string. So the boolean in the sense it is yes or no, true or false, check or uncheck. And what else we have? On and off. What else we have? What other? What other? We have one more. I think I forgot that. Yes or no, true or false, check or uncheck, on and off. What is another one? 1 and 0. Let me show you how. For example, let me select the same element here. Select the model element. I just select this element and it's a ceiling. I want to play with room bounding. So let me type room bounding. Room bounding. And I know that is a Boolean because it's a turn on and turn off. When I set this, it's already on. So when I turn it to false, uncheck, check, uncheck, check, uncheck, and check. Okay, perfect. So what about, in this, let's say type true. When I connect this, so it's already true. Let me connect false. Uncheck now. So the true or false, both are matching. Okay. And not only that, 1 and 0. 1 is acting like a true. See? And 0 is acting like a empty. 0 is acting like a empty. So 1 is acting like this. 0 is acting like off, on and off. Is that clear, everyone? So that's why it is saying it is an integer. Integer in the sense, I'll explain you, Bharat. I'll explain you. This showing it's like an integer. but it doesn't mean it is an integer. It is an integer controlled system. Integer controlled parameter, integer control system. We generally call it as an IBCS, integer based control system, or else you can call it as integer controlled parameter. You can control a parameter with a number, with a number. Okay, fine. Let me. There is a one more. Like there is a one more. I think with the Dutch we have seen that. With the Dutch, yeah, horizontal justification. So when I select this, when I select the same duct, okay, there is no room bounding. That's why it is saying that no parameter found by that name. It's saying that there is no parameter found by that name. It's clearly saying that. Okay, so it means I don't have any parameter with the name of room bounding. Okay, so let me check with when I turn this, when I select this, it's saying horizontal justification. So horizontal justification without any spelling mistakes, justification. Okay, and let me turn it off. So horizontal justification, it is center. It looks like a string. Correct. It looks like a string. But let me check. String. It's a center now. And I want to set this to the left. I want to set this to the left. And it is saying that it is not the parameter storage type is not a string. Okay, I know that is an integer because I've already seen that. So let me check number. Let me check with the number. And if I set this value to 0, that is center. If I change the value to 1, that is left. See, it changed automatically. When I change the value to 2, that is a right. When I change the value to 3, it's nothing. When I change the value to 4, again it is nothing. The reason behind this is when I take a drop down, when I'm using drop down, the first value, which is taking like how many values we have here? How many options we have? 3 options. Correct? Correct? Sorry, this is the one now. I think where I can erase this. Control Z. Pen I want to set it to orange. Yeah. So 0, 1, and 2. So when I set the value, it set something. When I set the 1, it is set something. So when I set 2, it's set something else. Correct. But when I'm asking for the 3, there is no 3 here. Is this clear, everyone? Is this clear, everyone? Huh? Is this clear, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Fine. Now, let me confuse you again. Let me confuse again. Okay. Control Z, 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 Z. Huh? Okay. Fine. Now, when I set the value to 0, it's supposed to be left actually, because if it is coming in an order 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, and 2. But when I'm trying to set value to 0, why it is set center? When I change the value to 1, it's supposed to be the center, but why it is set to the value left? Logic. What is the logic behind that? Very simple. You can easily set this. It's sort of an aptitude question.
Alphabetic order.
Very good.
So it's like forward and backward.
Alphabetical order. You can say anything. Okay. So I mean, how the developer has written. How the developer has written in it. Okay. So here it is saying that the center ABC as per alphabetical order, you have to give trial and error. You have to give trial and error. Mostly these are in an order basis. In Python, we have a concept called, list. okay, and tuple, okay, and set and dictionaries. We have few, options over there. If any object is playing more than one data, it can be a list, it can be a tuple, it can be a set, or it can be a dictionary. You understand? Do you understand? Let me show you. I don't want to confuse you. I mean, you're supposed to know the in-depth, list, tuple, set, dictionary in Python. If I see something, see this. Now, the list is ordered, the tuple is ordered, set is unordered, dictionary is ordered. So out of all these three, all these four, one is not in an ordered. When it's saying it's not an order. Okay. So if a developer who use this, so if you set it as a tuple, you can't change the order. You can't change the order. Few parameters can be changed. If you keep on playing, if you have three options here, if you keep on playing with one value like free, I mean, all the time, it will be obviously come and sit on the first position. You understand? It's called as a metadata. It happens only with lists. It only happen, I mean, it can happen with lists and, and sets, and that's it. Okay. So this happens with these two. And likewise, we have sort of rules. So here, this is alphabetical order. ABC. So it's a first priority. E, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. So M, N, O, P, Q, R. Second. This is the alphabetical order now. I hope everyone clear. I hope everyone
Yes.
clear here.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
So this is an integer based integer controlled parameter. Okay, fine. So let me get this out. So I hope someone asked me how come it is. So this is the answer. Okay, well, let me explain. What about the middle? What about vertical justification? Vertical justification.
Is also integer.
It's also integer. Huh? So the last example, if it is an integer, the new example also would be an integer. Is it?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Let me check. So this is the same thing. Vertical justification. Vertical justification. Bottom. Yep, it's working. So when I change the value to 0, middle. When I set the value to 1, it's a bottom. And when I set the value to 2, stop. 3, it's nothing. So we have three options here. Top, middle, and bottom. Now, the last statement, what I gave you as per alphabetical order. Now, let me see whether it is in alphabetical order or not. Is it in alphabetical order? When I set the value to 0, look into it again. It's a middle. When I set it to 1, it's a bottom. When I set this to the 2, that is top. Now tell me, is it in alphabetical order?
No.
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 No, right?
No.
As per alphabetical order, this supposed to be 0, correct? And this supposed to be 1, and this supposed to be 2, correct? But why?
Yes.
Some parameters are not in our control at all. Okay. Our intelligence fails completely. So you have to surrender for those parameters. Is it clear? Is it clear? So while you're playing with these parameters, let me explain. The biggest mistake what's happening, even automation does some sort of a mistakes. For example, someone has created a script and he said the vertical justification to the 2 in his model, and he opened the same model in some other version. In Revit version, he just opened he just shared the mod script to Vijay. So when Vijay opened it, Vijay, you're on still mute. Okay, I just muted you. Don't worry. Okay. So what happened now? So when Vijay is opening the same file, so it's supposed to be in the same position. So it's supposed to be in top. It was there in the top only, but the two changes the value from top to middle. So while you're playing with the Dynamo, you have to be very, very, very careful on what type of data types the script is playing with very clearly. And if you're trying to set some sort of values, then you must do it. There is a simple method here. If you're playing with any parameters or you're changing any data, there's a one important thing is find out the last node, which is called an action node, and right click on that and freeze it. First freeze it, then cross check the data whether everything is in the right position or not. Then you have to set those data types. I have a different question. Just give me. Data types will be same for all the. No, exactly. Not Ahmad. It's not. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not exactly the same for all the versions. For example, you are using 2020.0, 2020.1. You have installed some sort of a hot fixes or some updated versions. Now your version is 2020.2. This data can be changed. Do you understand? The data types, if it is a 0, which is like a bottom, that can be in the 2022.2, sorry, 2020.2, it can be a top. Is it clear? Guys, everyone, is this clear? Is this clear? Because when I'm, we do sell the scripts to the clients. So the client requirement is very clear. As per the client requirement, Rajesh, I want this has to be set everything. So it works fine, and we'll clearly tell them if it is this version. So if you're using exactly the same version, then it would be fine. We'll add a note on the top of it. So we'll just add a note on the top of it. Works for 2020.1. So if it is some other version, then we'll tell them very clearly here. Check change.
Sir, why did you write 0.1 behind the 20?
No, that is Revit versions. Revit versions. Mine is
No, 0.1.
what 0.1? That is what I'm saying. 2020.1. 2020.1. We have versions, no?
Okay,
Yes,
okay, got it.
You are aware of this. There are different versions with the subversions. Correct. Hot fixes and everything.
Yeah, correct.
20.2, 2020.6. So that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
if you
okay.
installed, if you install, if you keep on installing hot fixes and the versions are keep on changing, this data also can be changed. Change the value if other than 2020.1. So you don't know what way to change exactly. So we'll set something to this. So we'll give the complete instructions to them. Okay. So this is integer control system. It is not in an order. It's not in an order. It's completely depends upon how the developer has created. Is it clear? Guys, is this clear? Everyone.
Hello, I have a question. Hello, I have a question.
Yeah, Manas.
Yeah, actually, how do I recognize that 2 is in middle or top or bottom or something
No,
else?
that's what trial and errors. Trial and errors. So especially you will be getting confused only with the integer controlled parameters. The rest of all the other data types parameters will be very easy to understand. You don't have any set of rules except this ICP. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
Yes,
even the values are very crazy. This shows the value which is like a 4,444. You have only two values. How come the first one is 1660 and how come the second one is a 4444? Huh? It should be either 0 and 1. Correct. How come it is
Yes.
different? So it has own individuality. So it's keep on, I mean, if there is any change happened, it's keep on adding that versions to it. It's called, it is called, duplicate key. It's called as a duplicate key. What do you mean by duplicate key? Let me show you. There are many things in the Dynamo, guys. I mean, while explaining the warnings, there are many type of warnings are there. But if you, I mean, understanding, I mean, knowing it doesn't make you an expert, will not make an expert. If you remember it, if you put all these errors, I mean, I'm explaining a different tips and tricks. It will take a lot of time. If you sit and do R&D, if you do and sit some sort of an R&D, why it is happening, you can't find the blog anywhere. Seriously, how do you ask it? Tell me now. I explained you why it is like taking it's an integer controlled parameter. So if you Google it, why it is acting, how to control this parameter, you can't find the. I mean, it will take a lot of hours to do an R&D yourself. True or not? True or not?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Because most of the people doesn't know how to
Correct.
ask the question properly. So that's the reason you guys will prefer the trainers. Okay, if I have any question, you can directly ask me. Okay. Well, so try if I mean I'm saving your R&D time. So put your efforts, consider those hours, and keep it on your what do you say, on practice. Please, I need you seriously, very badly. Like there are many companies are looking for this automation experts. If you really want to get your feedback in terms of like 5 to 10 times, so please do practice. And I will be the source. Still there is a guy who's asking for automation, or how I don't want to show his name. Anyways, that I'll show you later. Okay, so still there is the profiles. Let me show. Still we have a requirement for the Chennai branch. Yeah, it's for Dubai. It's for Dubai, and he's looking for a Chennai. Okay, for the first initially for the first 3 months, you will be working from India, and you'll be traveling out there. And he needs the automation candidates. He needs the automation candidates. Okay, so we have, that's the first thing, and even they're ready to pay whatever you expect. If you're running like 5 and you're expecting is 9, they're ready to give you. If really do good in the automation, trust me, there is a very good scope. Okay, don't take it as a like I have enough money, so I spent on my training. So whatever it is, let it be. I'm learning some different. You can have this mindset if you're a manager, because managers won't sit and do the scripting part. You understand? They just want to understand there is a concept and it can be done on this way. That's it. Okay, fine. Keep that aside. So it's already, we have only 40 minutes. So now let me ask. Now tell me, what would be the storage type of, what is the data type of the location line? Tell me.
Integer.
Integer. Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Think so.
Wall center line. Let me set it to 0. Wall center line. Core center line. Finish first exterior. Interior. Interior. That's it. So when I adding 6 to this, it is saying that external component has thrown an exception. It means it is saying that I'm having only 5 elements. So you're asking for I'm having like a 6, but you're asking for the 7th one. So I can't get that out. So that is what it means exactly. External component has thrown an exception. Someone has texted me with some sort of a warnings. Samad, I'll explain your warnings to everyone in the end of a session. Don't worry. Okay. So 6. So when I set the value to 5, it's working again. What about top constraint? Top constraint? Tell me, guys.
Integer.
Element ID.
No, integer.
Let's see. Top constraint. So when I set the value to 0, the parameter storage step is not a number now. So all the drop downs are not an integers. Okay. So let's say unconnected level 1, level 2, level 3, roof level. So level is a element. Level is an element. Okay. And it is a system element. It is a system element. So any system information would be a element ID blindly. Okay. So element, it is a level. And here it is saying it's like a level. So level is element. It's a system element. So it can be a element ID as well as phase is a system object again. It's a system element. Is it clear? So that also can be a element ID. So, okay, fine. So let me set how to set the element IDs. I've shown you how to set how to set numbers, how to set the strings, how to set the booleans, how to set like true or false or one and zeros. But if it is an element ID, how to set exactly? How to set if it is a element ID? Every element IDs have, for example, let me check element to this parameters. Okay, let me get all this stuff to this stuff to here. So what is that? Top constraint. Top constraint 24. Top constraint unconnected, that is fine. 24 and 24. Okay, that's fine. That's also fine. Element ID. So all the element IDs have some set of different nodes. If it is a level, you have to type levels. You have a special node designed for it. Okay, so you can choose level 1, level 2, level 3 and roof level. So I'll set to from the level 1. If I'm playing with the top constraint is actually a level element. See, now not exactly to the level 2, to the level 3. So what happened? The top constraint, it is an unconnected. So let me set, I want to set unconnected height now. Unconnected height, it is an integer up to level 1. The top of the wall is lower than the base of the wall. Where did I place this wall actually?
Base
In level 3,
constraint.
in level 1. Yeah, level 1. Now let me check. So the top constraint is set to the level 2. See now. Is it clear? So if I want to set it to the level 3, if I want to set to the level roof level, that's it. Is it clear? So I know the top constraint is an element ID data type. Okay. And that is a level. So I have a specific node. Clear? So what about the phases? Phase is also an element ID. So phases also have a separate specially designed node to find existing and the new construction. So if I want to play with the phase created, so when I connect this to this new construction, when I change this to the existing, it changes to the existing. Is it clear, guys? Is this clear,
Yes.
everyone? Everyone?
Yes.
Is this clear? It should be clear.
Yes.
It's very easy. Okay. Now, some cases, if you went to an interview, okay, and you don't have this two set of nodes, and you are going to play with the element ID. How do you do that? How do you do that? Do you want me to explain now or do you want me to explain later? I think if you can able to digest it, that is somehow lengthy concept. It's not that lengthy. Just it'll take 1 minute to explain. I can explain that.
Yeah, you can explain. Yeah.
Everyone?
Please
Because
explain.
this is very, 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 very important. Okay, fine. Let me explain. This is called shortcut method. But I never suggest you any shortcuts. I don't want you to go with any shortcuts because when you are in an interview, you don't have anything else. You don't have even these packages also. Everything would be clear. So you have to create a script, not traditional method. It means from the scratch. So I'll explain you the shortcuts also in our training, and I'll explain you the traditional method also. First, try to understand the traditional process from the scratch without any shortcuts. If you want me to teach with the shortcuts, we don't need really 40 hours. I'll explain everything with the shortcuts, or else I'll create some sort of a Python scripts and I'll share it to you. But you can use it only in your machine. But if you are in an interview or if you are in a company, you can't use those. You'll mainly miss the logic, miss the functionality. Okay. So element types, all elements of type. Just few minutes above, just few minutes before, like I explained you, these are system information. Okay. So any system related information, if it is an element ID and you can't find a dedicated node for that, place these two. Okay. Place these two. If the parameter is element ID. Okay. Because for integers, you don't need anything. For double, you don't need anything. For strings, you don't need anything. For integer control system, you don't need anything. You need some attention on it. But when it comes to the element ID, you need these two set of elements. Okay. Now, I have a phase created. So let me check phase. So when I connect this, it's giving me, there are two phases, Mr. Kumar. Let me mute everyone. Okay. So I have two phases here. So it is showing you phase 12589, phase 86961. Now I'm a bit confused. So which one I have to set to the value? I can't directly connect this to this. I can't directly connect this to this. It will be a problem. Okay. Why? What is the problem? You will come to know later. As of now, I can't connect this. So I have two objects. Sorry?
Can I use code block? Code
Very
block.
good. Very good. Okay. So code block, then
Then true or false, or maybe 0 or 1.
Get item at
ah,
index.
very good. Very good. So I don't want to explain that lengthy concept. There is a easiest method. I'll place a code block. I'll place a code block. So this is a phase, no? Let me type phase, something. You can use any name. Let's say I have a list. I have a list, Mr. Dynamo. So in that list, I have two items. I have two items. Can you please show me can you get me the 0 index value? So how should we write exactly here? This looks like a block, no? You have to treat this as a square brackets. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So treat this as a square bracket. So list square bracket 0, list square bracket 1. Simple. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
So now I'll
Yes.
type exactly. I'll type capital L something, capital L or something, and I can't use this. LIST, if I call like this, I can't use this because LIST is a default variable. Okay, it's a default variable. So in that case, I'll explain what is the default, what are the keywords in later session. So when I connect this to this, see which is giving you 1 to 5, 8, 10. Because you asked the 0 value. If I ask one value, it will print the first one. What if I ask the second one? What if I ask the second one?
Warning, sir.
Warning.
Exceptional.
Warning. Okay. See now, it's a warning. And what it is saying that index was out of range. Index was out of range because you have only two elements. You have only 0 and 1, but you're asking for the second one. I mean the third one. Index was out of range. If non-negative must be less than the size of this list. So it is asking non-negative. Non-negative in the sense you can, I'll show you what is a non-negative later. -1. It will give you the last one. So -2. It will give you the top one. This is a -1, this is a -2. Again, this is a -3, -4, -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, -11. Let me type -11. See which is giving 86961. So minus doesn't have any end value. If I ask 1 like 1001, still give you something. Is it clear? That is what it's clearly said. If you want to play with the index out of range, then use non-negative, must be less than the size of the list. Okay, if I want to play with 1, so the phase, let me connect this to this. Perfect. New construction. Let me change the value to 0. It's set to the existing. Is it clear? Is it
Yes.
clear, everyone? Because
Yes,
this is
yes.
asking element ID. It's asking element ID. I connected element ID only to this. So how can you say that it is an element ID? Because it has the text, I mean, it has a number and which is highlighted in the green color. Is it clear? It is in a green color. Let me show you. Let me show you. See, the level 1, I mean, the one index element ID. There is a green color text here, 11 and 12, element ID, element ID. 18th one, element ID. 19th none, but why it is saying element ID? There is no element ID, but it is saying it's an element ID. There is a logic, I'll explain later, not now. Okay. So 28 and 29. Hey, by the way, what is that parameter? 19, phase demolished. Phase demolished. You know what is a phase exactly done? Correct. It's set to the none because phase demolished set to none. If I change this value to the existing, it is set, see, 19 is an element ID. Is it clear? So that is an element ID and it's an element ID. So 24 is an element ID, 28, 29 or element IDs. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone? So when it is asking, you have to connect an element ID. Then this is the processor to extract the element ID. Now, okay, I'll use the same thing. Hey, where is my wall here? Who deleted it? Select this. Select and top constraint. It's set to the top constraint. Top constraint. Okay. Now that you know that is expecting an element ID. How to connect the element ID? Tell me. How to connect the element ID to this?
Changing element types to level.
Very good. Very good. The element types instead of phase, that is a level. Now it is giving me level 1, level 2, level 3, and level 4, and with the element IDs. Correct? Now, when I ask him to print the 0, which is printing 378117. So I can't connect this because it's a top constraint. So top constraint should be from the bottom to roof level. So if I wish to set the value to level 3, then what to set the value here? What to set the value? Everyone. Everyone I'm asking. If I want to set, think twice before you answer. Thank you. If I want to set the value, then my answer is 3.
No, this is the list of 0, 1, 2, 3. So it will be 2, list 2.
List 2. Okay, fine.
Index 2.
No, but base constraint is level 3.
Base constraint is level 3. So it is, you're saying it's a 2, right? Mirage is saying it's a 3. Here, we are not playing with, don't get confused with numbers. Don't get confused with level 1, I mean 1, 2, 3 and 0, 1, 2 here. This is always expecting index number. I've explained you before. If it is showing you something, don't get confused with numbers. Okay. This is expecting list, square bracket, and the index number. Correct? Square bracket, index number, square bracket, index number, square bracket, index number. If I want to get this, if it is a 3, but still you don't type 3 here. You should type 2 only. Is this clear? Is this clear,
Yes.
everyone? Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Well, so erase all the points. Let me do. When I call the second element, the second index element, when I connect this, the top of the wall is lower than. Let me change the base constraint. Base constraint. Because it's from 0. Yep. When I connect this to this, now, do you see that? Do you see that? So base constraint, which is changing 1, which is changing 2. That's it. Clear? Guys, is this clear?
Yes.
So this 2 nodes, this 3 nodes will be using, this process is called indexing again. Okay, this process is called indexing. Let me type it here. Okay, this process is called indexing. We'll come to know we have a design scripting concept. The indexing is a programming terminology. I mean, it's a programming concept. Font size, that's a 14. That's it. Is it clear now?
Yes.
Is it clear now? Okay, fine. Let me save this. Data types. Okay. So this is the best way to find out the parameters the parameter data types. If you know the data type, it is very easy to play with any kind of a parameter. I hope you are somehow confident. Are you? Are you? Huh?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Then let me ask you something. What is the data type of this? Cross section. Give a guess.
Element ID.
Cross section.
Integer it will.
Is the cross
Integer.
section
It
Integer.
can be.
is
Integer.
no, just think it in another way. Is there any cross section and the data which is showing like a slanted or vertical? Is it an element or is it a system information? No, right? It is something else. Correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. So let me check. I'll keep this as it is. I don't want to disturb this for the time being. Let me keep that here. Oh, do I have it? Do I don't have anything here? Delete this. Set parameter by name. Select more limit. So the parameter name is always a string. So the string, what is that? Cross section. Cross section. Okay. So you now connect this. Now tell me, vertical slanted. You said it is an integer, right? So integer in the sense it is a number. Okay. Let me try. So let me set to 0. Yep, it's working. It's working. So you're almost on the pitch now. Correct. Okay, fine. Very good. Now I want to set the value angle from vertical 0 to 45 0 to 45 like this. Then the wall has a slant of 45. The wall has a slanted angle with a 45, not exactly like 45, it's a 15 or something. Yep. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear now? Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Okay, then tell me how. I want to set this cross section as well. Now, try to understand. Bharat, I think you asked this question before. Like I explained you, there is a series and parallel. Who is that? Who
Yes,
is
sir, that
that?
was me.
Bharat. Very good. Guys, so try to understand there is a concept called series and parallel. Okay, let me pull this somewhere else. Control C, Control V. Okay, so Control C, Control V. Let me check something here. I'm playing with two different parameters at the same time. The first one is cross section. Let me set to 1 here. Okay, vertical. So, and angle from vertical, it's a 15. Angle from vertical. So let me set it to manual mode. Let me connect this to this. So I have two set of an actions here. So I'm playing with the same element. Try to understand. I'm playing with same element with two different parameters, with two different values. Okay. So let me click on run. This is not executing. Okay, and still even the first one also not executed because it's vertical. I want to change this to the 0. Now what it is saying? No parameter found by that name. It's clearly saying that there is no parameter found by that name. So what do you mean by no parameter found by that? Just now we have seen there is a parameter, but it is linked with this parameter, with the cross-section parameter. Guys, do you able to understand what I'm trying to say? There are some sort of hidden parameters which are linked with some other parameters. Is it clear?
Yes.
Clear, everyone?
Yes.
Is it clear, everyone? Everyone, there are some sort of a parameters. They are hidden, or else they are grayed out. I'll show you some example for grayed out also. They are grayed out. It looks like, I mean, like a read-only parameter, but they can be controlled. They can be controlled by some of the parameters. Okay. So this is one of the example. Okay. So now let me set the value to 0. So when I set the value to 0, vertical should be to the slanted. Okay. When I click on run, this has executed change to the slanted, but the 15 did not apply here. Do you see that? Bharat, did you see this?
Yes, sir.
Did you see this? We have two set of parameters. So in our case, try to understand this set to the slanted, but still the value did not set to the 15. Let me try one more time. Okay. Let me set the value to 1 and click on run. Let me set the value to, still it is saying the no parameter found by that name. When I set the value to 0, okay, now it will change the vertical. If there is a vertical to the slanted, then it will get the parameter angle, something. Let me change or type something wrong. Angle, capital F. Angle, vertical. Okay. Now let me try. When I try to set these to what will happen, it's working now. It's working now. So this is called series. I'm sorry, it's called parallel. So it's called parallel. Even though you have the parallel axis, don't play in the parallel option. If you're playing with, there are a set of rules. Let me explain. 99% you will not use this parallel when you are playing with the same parameter or with the linked parameters or whatever. Okay. So this parameter is linked with the another parameter. In that case, you should not use parallel option. Is that clear? So this is called parallel. It is fine. You can use n number of parallel option. Like I want to set the mark value, mark value to BIM error, to BIM, and connect this to this. Okay, and I can set Control C, Control V. I can set the comments to error. I can set Control C, Control V. The location center line. Location line. To when I connect all this, what will happen? All these functions will be executed properly. When I click on run, all the set. The first one, the cross section, which is 0, slanted, was set, and the mark, the BIM got set, and comments, error was set, and location line, finish face exterior was set. All the 4 actions were set. Why? Because these 4 parameters are not linked with it's not linked with each other. Guys, I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. Huh? If there is no link between each parameter, you can apply the parallel concept. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
No, just let me one again.
See, very simple. For example, I have a wall. Okay.
Yeah.
So when I'm going to select any wall, so when I select any wall, that has to be executed with the same wall, the same wall, the same wall. Delete this, delete this, delete this. The wall is a common object here.
Okay.
Clear? The wall is a common object,
Okay.
and I have a different parameters control L. So I have a different parameter and different values. A line.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So I have a different parameter and different value. Different parameter, different value. Different parameter, different value. So different parameter, different value. But the element is a common here. Common here. Correct. So
Okay.
these concepts are called parallel because for the same element, the cross section is supposed to set to the 0, the mark value is supposed to set to the BIM, the comments value set to the error, and the location line set to the some other value. Is it clear? All these 4 actions can be executed at a one time. Clear? At a one time. But why? Because why you can apply this parallel? Because is there any link between cross section and mark?
No.
Is there any link between like cross section or comments or mark with the comments?
No. No.
Is there any link between cross section and mark and comments with a location line?
No.
No, right? This is the parallel connections. This is the biggest mistake the people who are new to the coding, they'll do this. They'll always use parallel connections in the coding. Okay, what is a series then? Let me Control C, Control V. Control C, Control V. Okay. So my first intention is there is a wall. There is a wall. There is a wall, and it is a parameter called cross section. Until unless I change this vertical to slanted, it's not showing the second parameter. It is linked with this. It's not a separate parameter. It is linked with the same parameter. So the parallel connection will not work here. Understand? Understand?
Okay.
So in this case, the cross section is supposed to set to the 0. And once it is set, here the element is with the value vertical. When I select for the first time, when I'm selecting the element, the value which is called vertical here. Correct? Am I right? Now, the same element here, it is, what's that? Slanted. Is this clear? Now, with which element I want to play with this value? I mean, I want to set the data from 0 to 45 or 0 to 15 with this element or with this
Slanted
element?
one.
With the slanted one. Correct? With the slanted one. So that's the reason. So I have to use this Control C, Control V. Cross section. Angle from vertical. I'll set the value to 50. And when I connect this to this, that's it. This is called series connection. And here, the data wall with the value slanted and angle 50 degrees. Is this clear now?
Yes.
Is this clear now? See what happened. Clear? Some cases it may work with parallel, but 99% you should avoid that. 100% you should avoid that. Okay, because when you're playing with single object, that is fine. But you're playing with 1,000 elements, the parallel connection will not work at all. Trust me. Okay, I can't show you now. We have a concept called lacing. I'll explain you the same concept on that time again. Parallel and series. You will come to know what's the difference between this and that. If it's with one element, you can't see the difference with parallel and series. But if you're playing with the multiple elements, some elements will set to the slanted 15 and some elements will not. So your script is only in the off way. You can't use those strategies over there when you're playing with multiple elements. Is it clear? And this will not work on multiple elements. Series connections works with single and multiple happily. Is it clear? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Everybody, is this clear? Okay. So tomorrow we have one more important concept. Now forget about tomorrow's concept. Your assignment. So your assignment is, I want you to sit and check every parameter storage type. Okay. First, do one thing. Write all the parameters you have. Right? What are the parameters you have? I mean, take any element from new discipline. Take any element. Okay, just give me a minute. Yep, successfully. Okay, so what I'm saying? So select any element of your discipline from your discipline, and without seeing the storage type, try to figure it out. Okay, this looks like a string. So write string over there. Okay, base constraint. It looks like, this already explained, element ID. And check 0. This is for your understanding, guys. This is for your understanding. So like how so far, like, I mean, you have to see yourself every day. Like what is your progress on your learning? It won't take more than 5 minutes. Just list down all the parameters. You don't need to even write the parameters as well. Location line is the first one. Element ID, EID, something. AID, int is double. It's a Boolean. So base extension distance. I have to explain one more. Guys, is it fine if I extend for 5 more minutes? Or we'll discuss tomorrow? Anyways, we have 2 hours tomorrow on the same concept. Extend or
No,
tomorrow?
extend.
Yeah, it's fine.
Let's go with priority. Let's go with the priority. Let's go with voting. Today or tomorrow?
Today.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
That's
Right.
2 hours is more than enough.
Okay. Fine. Anyways, that's very easiest concept. I'll explain it tomorrow because that needs a detailed explanation. It is called grayed out. Okay. Try to play with the grayed out nodes. At least by at least you try it. The grayed out nodes. What if when you're trying to get the value from the grayed out nodes? Grayed out in the sense top offset is a grayed out. Top is attached is a grayed out. and these parameters are linked with some other parameters. Okay, so for example, if I change this value base offset to 100, what will happen? There is no change in the bases attached. So for example, if I change this level 3 to level 2, or if I change this to the roof level, so when I can see the difference in the bases attached, when can I see the difference? Unconnected level 1, can I top offset when I set the value to the roof level? So where I can see the difference here, there are some sort of a parameter. For example, structural. Let's see this structural. So I'm sorry, let's cancel. So when I click on structural, there are 3 different parameters were active automatically. Do you understand? If I turn on this, I can change these values to something else. I can change this value to something else. I can change this value to something else. Structural uses bearing to shear or else to the structural combined. Clear? So in this case, which is the best method? Parallel or series?
Series.
Hey, parallel or series?
Series, sir.
Again, you come
Series.
first time. Parallel. How can you
But
say
sir,
series,
it's
man?
structural. When it will be clicked, then we have to go to the second parameter. No?
Oh, is it? Correct. It's linked with another parameter, right? So when I turn
Yes.
on the structural, so when I turn on this, so the structural uses rebar cover, rebar cover, rebar cover, other faces, interior, exterior are turning on. So when I turn it off, all gone.
It will not happen.
It will be gone. So that case, I'll be using series connection. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I'll explain you some other concepts tomorrow. And if possible, we can finish some concepts, the main concepts by tomorrow. Let's get into the variable called user-defined variables. What are the predefined variables? And very, very important session. Okay. Try not to miss at all. Clear? Clear, everyone?
Yes, sure, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
In the first one, in the first series connection that you have on your screen, if you
Hmm.
change the number to 0, 1 again, the second node will also give the warning
No,
again, right?
will be warning. Will be warning because here it
Yes.
is a vertical. If I change this value to 1, it will be vertical only, no? It'll be vertical only. It is not slanted now. See, that is a vertical. If it is a vertical, if it is a slanted, then only I can play with. Correct? This element
Correct.
should be the slanted to play with. But here it is still, here it is a vertical. Here also it is a vertical. Is it clear now? Is it clear? Even though that is in a series, forget about the connections, Bharat. Forget about the connections. The process I'm saying should not be in this when you're playing with the multiple elements.
Right.
For the single elements, that's fine. But for multiple elements, I'm saying. Why multiple elements? You will come to know in the element selection concept. We have a I think 1 hour session is that element selection process. No, it's a 2 hours concept. Element selections like categories, all elements of category, types, all elements of type, filter, family type, all elements of family type. So I want to get all the elements of a particular view. How to get that? I want only this particular category from the particular view. How to get it? So this is called element selection process. Okay. In that concept, I'll explain you why it is very important, why you always prefer the series method. Clear? Don't worry, I'll explain you. I'm not going to miss even single thing when it comes to the coding. Clear? Clear? So my only concern is how you remember all this. That's what. Is it clear? So that's up to you now. So if you want me to feed, I'll keep on feeding you or fit until unless you array stop. Even though you say keep on saying stop, I don't stop it. I'll keep on off feeding you with tips, tricks, and everything. But you should able to digest it. Simple. Okay, fine. So see you tomorrow, and I hope everyone array 2 more minutes. Just give me 2 more minutes. This guy have a question. I downloaded it. Just, I think this one. Yep. So just give me 2 more minutes. I'm so sorry. So internal error, please report dereferencing a non-pointer. This is someone's question. There is no input given. Run in automatic mode. Please explain the warning. So the warnings is, I mean, this kind of a warning is when if it is expecting something and you did not connect anything to it. That is expecting parameter name and you haven't connected anything here. Now it is scolding you. Are you idiot? Connect something to get me some to get something. If you want me to get something, you have to type something, no? And there is no element selected. There is no data type. Even though you connected those two, the input should be exactly. I'll explain you. There is a restriction concept. Tomorrow you're going to see that user defined and predefined, user defined with restrictions, like predefined with the restrictions. There are few concepts. I'll explain it. Don't worry. Okay. So the second one, your second question is the base offset, which is saying 0.9. I mean 0 feet 9 inches. So when I set the value 0.750, which is set like 0.9 inches, the rivet always reads in feet and inches. Okay. So, I mean, if you change the value here to the mm, it will act like an mm. But sometimes what happen, these will be considered. The Dynamo has a, the Dynamo has a, like, still, there are some sort of a nodes in it. They'll read it as a feet and inches. They'll read it as a feet and inches. So when you connect the value 0.750, it will be convert that into that particular project units. I'll show you. There is a one more concept in a Rivet lookup tool. Okay, here it is showing the value something, and there which shows some other value. I'll show you tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow or some other time. Are the units and Rivet Dynamo different? Yes, they'll be different. Okay, so for some variables, the output is a number. The work set is ID. Generally, if you want to get any work set, it is an ID. So it has a names. Instead of a work set name, it will be having some sort of an ID. Okay. I supposed to explain this today, but we don't have a time. Remind me tomorrow, Samat. I'll explain you detail. Okay. Clear. So here the variable names are same. This also I'll explain you tomorrow. This also I'll explain tomorrow. I thought I seen this before. I'll explain this tomorrow. It needs some detailed explanations. Clear? Samat? We'll see tomorrow.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Clear,
Okay?
sir.
Don't worry.
Yes,
I'll explain
yes.
everything. Don't worry. And guys, please come up with questions. I'm asking you again and again and again. Please come with the questions. If you're coming with the questions, I can help you out. Okay, don't keep everything in your mind. And if I ask in front of someone, no, don't say your name. Just add that in the document. Who knows who is adding it? Even I don't know who is add that. Who add that? Whether it is a silly question, I mean, it's a stupid question or like very intelligent question or advanced question, doesn't matter. I'm going to explain it. Clear, everyone? And don't delete the previous doubts or anything. I don't want you to disturb anything in the document. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear, everyone? Please take care of the document because like I don't even have a backup also.
Hello, where I got the documents?
Manas, I've sent you on WhatsApp. I've sent you a message like before we start the session. There are, I mean, like with 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 points. The third point is a document and the fourth point is another document. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Meet you tomorrow, everyone. Guys, see you. I'm signing off. Bye-bye. Guys, bye-bye. Saying bye, man.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye bye.
Mm.